Good evening, friends. I hope you all are doing well. In previous video of part 1, we have discussed about the administrative system of Mauryan Empire. We will shortly preview the previous video content, then we will move forward. So, we read Chanakya was the advisor of Mauryan Empire. He empowered their region on vast continent through expansion policy of matrimonial alliance. Now we will see second ruler of Mauryan Empire, Bindusara. He was son of Chandragupta Maurya and ruled by uh, uniting 60 nations and expanded his empire. During his rule, almost all subcontinent was covered by Bindusara. Bindusara's policy about the expansion was greatest. He had acquired more than 60 nations and ruled over it. During that time, the 60 nations by the mean of not a nation and country of modern day, but that was a small kind of provinces that was ruled by little ruler. So that 16 country and nations were united by Bindusara and ruled over it. Despite getting all the issues and subtitles all the things, he had maintained a healthy diplomatic relationship with the neighboring nations and neighbors along with the Greeks. As we all know, the Dimachus was the ambassador in the court of Bindusar. As we all know, at the last phase of Bindusar, when he was about to death, then he has succeeded and announced the next ruler of Rahul. But ministers were not agreed on it, and their ministers was supposed to make ruler as Ashoka. So Ashoka was eligible for the becoming king, so their minister has decided to the coronations of Ashoka. So they called Ashoka from the southern part of India and started the occasion for the coronation of Ashok. When Bindusara was the last stage, he had decided to make successor of Rahul, but all ministers along with Radhagupta, who was grandson of Chanakya, made a plan to make Ashoka as a king. So he called Ashoka from southern part of India and announced his coronation in 269 BCE after the death of 4 years of Bimbisar. In his strategy, he fought many battles. Among these, Kalinga was biggest one. Kalinga War was fought in 261 BC. The greatest Ashoka, he fought that war against the state of Kalinga. On that time, the Kalinga was an independent state, and they had no any kind of ruler. So he fought it for the an independent state of Kalinga, that is known as the modern day of Odisha, which led massive destruction. In this war, around 1 lakh people were killed and around 1 lakh and 50,000 were captured and countless other was affected. That brutal war affected Ashoka and he embraced Buddhism. When he has started Buddhism, he has started along with it following the teaching of Buddha and spread it in Sri Lanka, Greece, Egypt and Southeastern Asia by sent messengers of his son and daughter Mahendra and Sanghamitra also. There was a special feature of Ashoka's Dham policy. When the great Ashoka has seen a massive destruction among this region of Kalinga war, when more than 2 lakh and 50,000 people were affected by kill or displaced from one place to another place, he had embraced Buddhism and following their teaching and principles. Later, he planned to spread it over the neighboring country, and he has sent his son and daughter in Sri Lanka to spread their following and teachings, whose name was Mahendra and Sanghamitra. He played a major role to organize the third Buddhist council in Patliputra, modern day of Patna. There was welfare principles of features of Dhamma. First was ahimsa, second was welfare for all living beings. So basically, Ashoka was followed this, added these two principles in Dhamma policy. First was ahimsa, that is non-violence. In any condition, they will not start any kind of violence activity among their region. Second was welfare for all living beings. Even there is a mosquito, you cannot kill them in the Shuka's Dham policy, because of he has right to live, he has right to welfare of all living. As we all know, Dhamma was propagated through edicts. There was multiple sources through that Dhamma policy was inscripted over the edicts and rocks in Prakritic language, in Prakritic Greek and Aramaic language. The most famous among these are rock edicts and pillar edicts. As I told you earlier, history depends upon the sources. There would be multiple sources. Either it would be the text source, it would be the edit, rocks, language, and some rulers has their own book has been written by themselves as their biography or autobiography. So in Ashoka's context, the evidence has been found over the rocks, edicts, and multiple languages like Prakrit, Greek, and Aramaic language. There was multiple inscriptions also founded over the Sarnath, and that was took from Sarnath to New Delhi. And today we can see the national emblem of lion, in which four lions were situated all together in the fourth direction, in the all direction. So that was also a sign, and today's became a national emblem as our. So now we will discuss about the administrationship under the Ashoka. So Ashoka followed a highly centralized administration. As I told you earlier, that the king at the top, he appointed Dhamma Mahamtas, a special officer responsible for promoting Dhamma. There was once Ashok was not a good and welfare king. As his starting phase, he was most cruel king. But when the Kalinga war was happened and he has shown a massive destruction, he took the following and teachings of Dhamma policy. And since that time, their expansionism policy were got weak. And after day by day and ruling by ruling, all their empire was disintegrated in multiple part. So thank you so much, friends. Now we will see in our next video about all the things which would be correlated with Mauryan Empire. We will see some miscellaneous questions as well, and we'll definitely work some project over this through the exam perspective. Thank you.